Okay, I got a phone call in the middle of taping and it just completely cut my video off. So this is part 2 of my updates for today. As I was saying, I got a new baby. And I adore it. I love it. I don't know how I ever lived without this piece of equipment in my sewing room. It is a Singer, what is it called? Professional Steam Press. I am in love. This makes pressing fabric. No, it doesn't make it a heaping whole lot faster because it's not really big and some pieces of fabric are just large, period. But it does make every seam and every wrinkle flat as flat can be. I don't need one of those things, a clapper. Although I do my in-between pressing of my seams, I don't use it for that. I use a regular iron for that purpose. Actually, this little iron that I have right here is what I use for that purpose. But it makes every other pressing awesome. So I starch, like I said before, I am a hard starcher. As hard as I can get it, stiff as I can get it, is how I starch it. So I dip starch. I make my starch, number one, out of cornstarch. I dip my fabric, and then I take it outside to a wire rack, a metal rack where I hang it to dry. I bring it in, hopefully 3/4 dry. And then I bring it in and I just sit it in here, set the steam, get it hot, close it up. Best thing ever happened. Best thing ever happened to pressing. So I'm going to turn you over, and that is my baby. I have a piece of fabric in it to press, but it is that lovely little thing, and now it's only 20 inches. It is only 20 inches long. I do not have enough room nor a table big enough to get one bigger than that, but I think they go all the way up to 36 inches, so a yard. So a yard long. It goes all, you could get one bigger, and it goes all the way up to 36 inches and a yard long. And it is, like I said, it is one of the best investments I have made yet, besides my lovely sewing machine and all. But it is one of the best investments that I have made yet. And I just love it. And I'm trying to figure out why it's looking crooked over here. And I see that the grandchildren, or my husband one, have been in here turning on my table because my table looks a bit crooked right about now. But I love it. I just absolutely love it. Love, love, love. Now let me make sure I got everything before I get to this lovely package here. Do I have anything else to show you guys? Yes, I told you about my pull diary. It is an Archer and Olive diary. If you like stationery, or you like journals, or you like really, really good paper, Archer and Olive is your thing. So I started with writing, and it is a little generic, you guys. So I just write what my quilt is called and what the patterns called. And this particular one is for the Fill My Cup block. I put my swatches in, and I wrote in here when my pieces were cut and the notes that I have with it. And I don't have any sizing, just where the placement was. This is for my Red Sky at Night. So these are the swatches for the fabrics that I had at the time. But today I came into my sewing room to try and get it all straightened up, because I had stuff like literally everywhere. It was a disaster area in here. But like I told my husband, there is artistic design in this chaos. And it's going to stay this way until the chaos just becomes actual chaos. And you lose all the artistic design, and then it's time to put it back where it belongs. So I set out to put all of my fabrics, every fabric that I own that is not assigned to a quilt kit, excuse me, that is not assigned to a quilt kit or kitted up for a quilt. If it is a fat quarter or larger, it is going to go on a comic board. It is going to be packed in colorways: red, purple, green, orange, blue, black, brown, whatever. And in containers with those colors, with the comic boards sitting to where the edges are up, so that I can literally see what every piece of fabric is. Because what I found that is, if I got to go through all these different containers to find something, it's never going to get used. So I have set a mission to put everything that is a fat quarter or larger onto a comic board. Currently, I am 350 comic boards in, and I probably need another 500 to 700 to be realistic and honest. I probably need about 5 to finish, because I have containers approximately this size with folded up fabric, fat quarters, half yards, yardage, and I have at least 10 of these to put on comic boards. For most people, that might not be a lot, but for me, in this teeny weeny room, that's a lot of fabric taking up that closet that's back there. That is, it's a lot. And if I can't see it, I'm just going to continue to buy additional fabrics, and I have things that I could be using. Case in point, this Red Sky at Night quilt. Every single solid that you see on here, every single one of these, over here to here, this one, that one right there, that one right there. I bought those to make this quilt. Today, I finished my purple and violet comic boards, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 comic boards with the same colors that I purchased in solids, just like the ones that I purchased. Some of them are different toned, but they're tones that could have worked in the quilt. And out of those 9, there's 5 half yards and 4 fat quarters. That's a ton of fabric. 3.5 yards worth of fabric that I could have been using instead of purchasing additional fabrics. So when I finish that project and get them all put together, I'm just going to pull out the containers and just kind of show them to you guys how I put them together. I may take a day where I video and just sit here and organize and put the stuff together, while I bring you guys along with me. But I found out that I needed to do that just from putting these fabrics into this book and thinking, you know what, I think I got this color somewhere. And as it turned out, I had this color somewhere, just like I thought. I've gone through the Victory Garden fabric, which, if you guys do not remember, Victory Garden is another block of the month that I signed up for. It is also like a reproduction colored quilt, and I don't know what's going on with me and the reproduction colored quilts, but it looks like this. It came with a boo-boo bundle, and so I just cut little pieces of the selvage end of the boo-boo bundle and put it on this page to keep up with what they are and where they belong and what they're labeled in the pattern as. So if I need some other reference, if I lose that page or I need some other reference, I already have this. There's 29 blocks in it. 5 borders, and it will be 108 inches square when I finish it. Now this one is definitely a big girl. I have no idea where she's gonna go because I don't really think this is gonna work in either one of my rooms, but I think it's really, really pretty one way or the other. I don't know yet. So I think that is those are the only few pages that I have filled out yet as of right now. But my plan is, as I have a few minutes, a Sunday morning or Saturday morning or sometime before I go to work, if I'm up kind of early, to come in here and pull fabrics and just cut little pieces off of the selvage ends of them. Most of them have selvage ends, and then put them on a page with the notes that I can get about the quilt, and yeah, go from there. That's the journal. Now to the most exciting thing that I have received in the last couple of weeks. So there are only 2 designers fabric lines that I just really don't matter what it is, I'm just simply going to buy. And one of those designers is Tilda. So, you know, if you don't know, Tilda just came out with a new fabric line called Sanctuary. And I got a half-yard bundle. So I buy all her fabric in half-yard bundles. Doesn't matter what it is, when it is, why it is. I buy a half-yard bundle of it. I have been known to buy a half-yard bundle and then buy a fat quarter bundle as well. That has happened a couple of times. But I got that today. Now I'm going to open it. As you can see, I have not opened that yet. I'm going to open it and preview it with you guys. But before I do that, when I purchase it because it's Tilda. It doesn't really matter whether I know what I'm going to do with it, how I'm going to do it, or, you know, if I have any plans for it. And as it turns out, there are no plans for this half-yard bundle. There were no plans for this half-yard bundle. I just can't stand to not have her fabric in my stash as it comes out. But there were no plans for it because I bought this half-yard bundle along with the one of the quilt kits that, well dang, I am kind of taping on my phone so I can't show it to you, but it's called Make, Mend, and Do, I think it's called. But it's a quilt kit that has sewing machines and thimbles and pin cushions and the like on the quilt. I also purchased that quilt kit, but it has not yet shipped to me. So, with that being said, when I received the shipping notice for this fabric, I was so excited to get it, and I happened to be on YouTube at the time, and I ran across a lady on YouTube that owns a quilt shop, and I have no idea what her name is or what the quilt shop is, but she was doing a tutorial, not a tutorial, but giving the sizes of what size pieces to cut to work this quilt. And let me show it to you. It is called Wensleydale, and it is by Jen Kingwell. Now this quilt uses templates. If you use the book, this quilt is in Jen Kingwell's quilt recipe book, and it uses templates to cut the pieces according to this book. Well, Jen Kingwell has since created a paper piecing pad. It's a paper piecing paper pad foundation paper piecing paper pad to make which is basically what this is. This is Wensleydale. See if I can get closer. Yes, Wensleydale. And each block, each section has a different fabric. So that's different from this, from that, from that, from that. Right? Well, to make the scrappy quilt, you need 42 different fabrics. This lady that I saw on YouTube was not giving out the pattern, but they had developed a way to tell you what sizes to cut. Because even though you have the foundation paper piecing that you can do with the foundation paper, you still needed to get the templates at the time to cut the fabric into the shapes that you needed to even put it on the foundation paper. They came up with a list of sizes to cut the fabric, but you still gonna either need the book to go through the old pattern, or you're gonna need to buy the foundation paper to make the foundation paper piecing parts. I just ordered the foundation paper, but and I don't know what her name is, but if you go to YouTube and look up Wensleydale quilt cutting, it'll come up. But she gives you all the cuts that you need to cut out of each 6 1/4 inch strip. You need 42 different 6 1/4 inch strips. That's all you need. It's 42 different 6 1/4 inch strips from width of fabric. So it's 6 1/4 by width of fabric strips. And all of the cuts that you need can come out of each one of those. They're all going to be cut the same. And from each, you're going to make those cuts. And it's still going to leave you some on the end. So if you miscut, you'll still have some on the end from where she cut it. I watched her cut it on the show. And those cuts will make the entire quilt. So my plan since ordering this and since watching that video is to use Sanctuary as well as Tilda's last year fall winter release, Hibernation, to get my 42 different fabrics that will come together to make this quilt. Each one of these fabric lines has 20 pieces to it. So I was still going to need some extra fabrics to fill in for them other two. And what I found is in my stash. These fabrics do not belong to these lines, but I mean, Tilda uses the same colors over and over again, just different tones, different. She has a color palette. She's like Tula Pink. She has a color palette that just kind of mixes together from line to line. So I have a couple of blenders. This one, this plummy purple color, if it looks plummy purple on your side. This blue. And this like mustardy yellow. Those are my additional 3. And all of these pieces are in half yards, so I have plenty of fabric to use. And I'm going to cut them into 7-inch strips. 7 1/4. Well, no, I'm going to cut them into 7-inch strips. That's what I'm going to cut them into. I'm going to cut them into 7-inch strips, and I am going to, because I'm only going to starch what I need. So I'm going to cut them into 7 strips because I actually don't need to cut them into 7 because when you starch, the fabric only shrinks the width of fabric. It doesn't shrink across the 6 1/4. So, but to give myself some wiggle room, I'm going to cut it at 7 inches by width of fabric, which will leave me with plenty of fabric for another project that I would use it with. So those are my first 3 that are going to mix in with this other loveliness that I'm about to show you. So I'm going to start with the hibernation, just in case somebody's not seen that prior to today. And then we will go into Sanctuary, which I am eager to dig into because I have not yet opened that. So we're going to start with hibernation. There are 20 pieces of this, and I'm going to try to go kind of quickly through it. So there's this one with the pretty slip. Wait, let me turn him around. Let me turn him around because he ain't sleeping upside down. Turn them around. Look at this squirrely wordies. Now this will be perfect because I can fussy cut these to go in the centers of those blocks. Oh, I love it. So there's the cute little squirrely whirlies. And then there's this print with the flowers. This one. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at them. Little sleeping micey wiceies and little sleeping birdies. All of these are in the same colorway. Then they move to the blue colorway, and I'll tell you, there's not going to be any new prints. They're just going to be the same repeats of prints. And squirrelies, but you get to see the colors in them. Flowers. The sweet little miceys. And these. Then we will roll around to the green. Oh, look at those. I just noticed strawberries and mushrooms. So cute. These acorns look like mine in my blog. Then we get to the browns. Now this is going to work really, really well with Sanctuary because Sanctuary doesn't have any animals. I don't think. Don't let me lie. But I don't think it has animals in it. I think it is all like just florals and trees. So I can use the little animals in the focus centers as opposed to maybe the other prints as opposed to the other prints. Let's see. So that was all of Hibernation from last year's line. And so let's give a good look-see at Sanctuary. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. Open up. Oh, Lord. Open up. So this coloring is a little different too because it's not as bright. Hibernation were bright colors, as you can see, from the greens, the blues, and the plums and pinks. And these are muted colors. And this is not pink. This is like a red, a muted red color. And see, it doesn't have the animals in it. This is so cute. Well, I lied. There are some animals in this. My bad. See the squirrelies and stuff? But they're small. So they could go in corners and stuff too. And this, most people are calling pumpkins. This is not a pumpkin. This is an eggplant. It's an eggplant. More of that muted red with these little cutesy little daisy looking flowers. And this print, which I can't decide whether they go up or down, but it's so cute. Then it's going to move into a green color. So let me take that red, which I think is most like this plum, because they don't have plum. Well, they do have a purpley color, but it ain't plum. So Hibernation pinky plum color, Sanctuary's red color. I think this is most like that one. Then we got our green for Sanctuary, which is again more muted. But look at that flower. Look at that tree. What you upside down? Look at that tree. Look at him. That is lovely. Then there's the eggplant. And that, I don't be knowing what's up and what's down in some of these prints. But that kind of look like down. Up. That kind of look better. Then there's this minty green. This is lovely. Lovely. I don't know how minty it looks in this light, but it's lovely. And then this deep darker green as well with those funky little things I think are cute. So this is Sanctuary green. I'm gonna pull that light one to go with that. Sanctuary green. This is Hibernation green. I'm gonna pull this one. That's the hibernation. So now we move into what she called eggplant coloring as well. Lovely. Isn't that pretty? It looks more to me like, well, yeah, eggplant and maybe periwinkle in there. I don't know which one of these colorways that this one go to, but it is certainly pretty. It's a light, which will be great with all these darker colors. An actual eggplant that is in the colorway of eggplant. This lighter, like I said, kind of a dark periwinkle blue. And then this is really eggplant. Now the closest thing I can put this with is going to be the, let me get that light one too. So I will pull these. This is the colorway for eggplant for Sanctuary. And the closest thing for last year's colorway that will go with this is going to be this blue. But let me pull that down. So it's here. Those are what I'll be using for that kind of bluey colorway. Last but not least is the browns. So, Sanctuary brown with those trees. That is very pretty. And then these funky little things that look like raindrops with little flowers. Then this lighter, like taupey color. I like cocoa brown color. And another, the eggplants in the cocoa brown color. So I'm going to take these trees, this lighter color, and these funky looking things together. So you can see that. Sanctuary browns. And so I'm going to do two. You and a dark one. Let's do this one. You and you. So Sanctuary browns are, ooh, can I get them? Are here, right here. And Hibernation browns here. And again, my three colors that are going to be used as the extras and the blenders are, we'll use the Sanctuary Browns for them to go with. This with the Sanctuary Browns. And then these, I'm going to use it with the browns again with the Hibernation Browns. If I take this color and I put it with anything else, it works. These colors work. They work. Like, look at that. And that's with the blue. And then here's the red, which some of this ain't red. I can't use all three of them with it. Well, maybe I can because it ain't looking too hatefully bad here. And then with the Sanctuary Red, I think it's going to work. I think everything's going to work. I'm really excited about it. But I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to take these and I am going to cut them into 7-inch strips. 1 7-inch strip off of each piece. I'm going to dip them, starch them, cut them into these pieces. When Amazon delivers my Westleydale foundation paper, I am going to get to it. So my plan is to take the fabrics, once I cut them, and lay them out. I want to lay all of them out on my design wall. Every one of them. I want to lay every one of them out on my design wall and then take them down as I pull a page to it, because all the foundation papers are the same. Take them down as I pull a page. But I want the whole quote to be up here before I ever start foundation paper piecing it. So when I pull one, I just go pull a block, put all the pages on the page, sew it up, put it back on the wall. Go get another one. Pull all the pieces down from up there, bring them over here to the sewing machine, sew it up, put it back in its place on the wall. That's the plan. And that is everything I have to show you guys for today. I know this video would have been extremely long if I did not have to put it into 2 parts. But I am so grateful that you guys stuck with me. I hope you like everything that I showed you. I am super duper duper excited about this Jen Kingwell pattern. This gives me something to do with the largest bit of my stash that I have. I got tons of tilde fabric, you guys. But that being said, I'm gonna let you go. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever day it is that you're looking at this. And I hope you have a blessed one. Thank you so much. Love you guys.